streets said that...
Well, the streets are talking.
Simon Guobadia really wants to burn the whole house down, and Porsha Williams is sick and tired of his carefully orchestrated plot to sabotage her deal with Bravo, discredit her entire persona, and do everything but put her in jail.
Oh, Lord. Okay, we're good.
He wants to burn the whole house to ashes, but it's not the $7 million mansion that he wants to torch.
But not that.
For that one, he reportedly wants to make sure that Porsha will not be able to film inside that house, therefore sabotaging her highly anticipated return to RHOA as possibly the most opulent of the housewives on that franchise. In fact, Simon has reportedly filed a petition to have access to the Bravo contracts, amendments, memos of understanding, financial documents, as well as all communication, photographs, videos, recordings, tapings, footage, or filming involving Porsha and the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16. That, by the way, was a retaliation because according to People magazine, in her complaint, the Bravo star asked the court to prevent Guobadia from destroying, concealing, or altering any financial documents connected to their ongoing divorce. And if you think he's bluffing and being ridiculous with his ask, wait until you understand the context of these requests. As part of his scathing counterclaim in court, Simon is reportedly building a case that Porsha Williams has been guilty of libel and defamation. According to the court documents obtained by Radar Online, led to Simon suffering some serious reputational damages. If this holds up in the court, where he wants the whole thing to go to trial with the jury, then Simon might just have his request granted to have a considerable chunk of access and a level of control into Porsha's storyline and portrayal on the show. And that tells you that he definitely wants to make sure that her return is a big ass flop, amongst other things. And when he's done eating her up in the court, he is also demanding Porsha to pay his attorney fees and disappear gently into the night. It's all so embarrassing for Porsha, and now the 42-year-old reality star is furious about Simon's clean technique to checkmate her out of her own game. Porsha is now saying that Simon is going out of his way to destroy her career, and in her counterclaim, she says the Nigerian businessman's request to her RHOA contracts are not reasonable, as all that stuff has nothing to do with the divorce. And what's more, Porsha had already filed a petition demanding Simon to vacate the mansion ahead of her filming schedule for the new season. But Simon is telling the court to throw out the key terms of the prenup because while he may have agreed to these conditions at the time, he now has evidence that 1. Porsha had been deceptive at the time, and 2. She herself has already breached the terms of the prenuptial agreement. For 1, by allegedly leaking all kinds of stuff to the media. And it's crazy because we don't know how Simon's criminal past was leaked to the media just days after the divorce was announced this past February. Us mere mortals can only speculate with the spice of drama, but Simon reckons that he has the proof that Porsha has definitely not acted in good faith, it says here. So essentially, the story goes that Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia hooked up while he'd still been married to Fallon, who was Porsha's co-star on RHOA at the time. In a controversial turn of events, the pair announced their engagement as Simon and Fallon finalized their divorce. They get married in several flashy weddings and seemingly live it up as Porsha drops the Real Housewives of Atlanta to focus on her new life as a super rich housewife living the lofty lifestyle. 15 months later, they are getting divorced and dragging each other to hell, and the hell under that. Now, they are certainly both stunned queens, and it's hard to see who actually finessed who in this marriage. Simon is decking out his cards to show that Porsha that, hey, you were a toddler when I started studying the game. You thought you could play me. It's a big concern now for Porsha and the network because her drama has gone legal and Simon is gunning for a gag order to bar her from being able to freely engage about him and their 15-month marriage on the show. That pretty much snatches the storyline, and as if that's not enough, he also wants to undermine her ability to reappear as a big star on the show by dragging her in court over potential use of the fancy house and maybe other flashy toys that come with that.
Could have gotten another home,
But not that one.
That's true.
But the home that
yeah.
you have, that's probably what, about $2 million
More?
You could not have afforded on your own.
True.
That's
30
all.
years old, will have a home
That's
in their
all.
own name. Best believe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now that he has requested True Entertainment LLC, the production company behind RHOA, he is causing a big headache over at Bravo. And that's not a good time for the production to be dealing with all that mess, seeing that they are in the middle of a cast shakeup with further delays in filming as they scramble to put together a formidable cast. Andy Cohen is facing his fair share of legal drama as a number of former housewives are filing lawsuits against him.
Oh, we're going somewhere.
And all of this is happening while their leading shows on the network have reached a dead end. It's not looking good. And not only that, there's talks now that Porsha Williams has signed some kind of a 360 deal with Bravo over 3 years, and that is valued at $5 million. Now, I don't believe that number for 1 second, but regardless, it won't really work in Porsha's favor either way, because Simon is now arguing in court that at the time the prenup was drafted and signed, the understanding had been that Porsha would be a stay-at-home mom and housewife. But now that she has signed this massive deal with Bravo, his lawyer, who's a black woman by the way, is arguing that her attempt to secure the mansion for the next 12 months is, and I quote, unconscionable. And he wants this whole thing to be played out in the public domain in trial with the jury. I bet he's counting on the framing of Porsha as a woman who overplayed her cards by marrying him under false pretenses to gain access to his lifestyle and finances. And now this woman wants his children that he supports to lose access to their home, when in fact she will be using that very home to portray a lifestyle of wealth and opulence for a massive check, while greedily trying to get more money from him. I wonder how the jury would assess that situation. Comment down below, like and share this video to bump it up in the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Andy Cohen swears up and down that he had not been aware of the level of drama in Porsha and Simon's marriage when she inked a deal for a major return to the network. But shortly after the news came out that she would be returning to RHOA for season 16, news started coming out about their divorce and the drama that has unfolded since. And this complicates the whole thing, because now what do we have for RHOA season 16? The show has recently suffered a sharp decline in ratings, leading the network to initiate a massive cast reboot that will be built around Porsha and Kenya. It could have been so perfect, since viewers felt owed the truth and reality of Porsha and Simon's marriage. But now it doesn't look like things are going according to Porsha's plan. This whole saga is putting the season further at risk of being a hot mess. And maybe that's why filming has been pushed back again, sparking rumors that the show might not even come around until 2025. It's not even helping that Simon has been hanging out with Sheree, who is rumored to be returning to the show as a freshly demoted friend of. She certainly knows the cards she is playing now, who seemingly wants to have his hands all over Porsha's narrative on the show and all over the blogs. Now, on paper, all this drama sounds like reality TV gold. And that's part of the reason one might have initially thought both Porsha and Simon are in on it to build a massive storyline that would make for a massive return to the network. But on the contrary, it's clear now that he wants to embarrass and undermine her relationship with the production company, the network, and viewers of the show. And that's most of her fan base. Yep, he's coming after that bread, for sure. Ish, what are we going to do now, Porsha? Comment down below, like and share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching until the end, and until next time, bye.